People in society have gone through extreme measures to achieve unrealistic beauty standards that are impossible for an average person to attain. What is the idea of beauty? Is it race? Is it weight? Is it class? Is it skin color? The beauty standard in today's society are vary across different cultural backgrounds. However, since Western influence globally, there are now expectations to be thin, tall, fit, fair-skinned, flawless complexions, busty, sexy, but innocent. According to an article by Amber Polk, participants completed a survey that assessed their gender, geography, regions, and body image. Women reported poorly body image than men. These expectations placed on men and women have affected them psychologically, socially, emotionally, physically, and economically. The challenge would be to educate individuals to embrace their culture and their inner and outer beauty. The resulting consequence would increase body modification, insecurity, and financial stress, which can have dangerous consequences. The article by Monica Anderson mentioned that 23% of US adults say a close friend or family member has had elective cosmetic surgery. We will be focused on Western body expectations, Asian cosmetic surgery, Latina and Afro-Latina hypersexualization, and African American breakaway from the Western standards.
Beauty standards are prevalent across the world and have become expectations and ideals for both women and men, which are both unhealthy and unattainable. Society has inculcated the belief of achieving the perfect body image, and in turn leaves young adults feeling dissatisfied with their appearance. This body image ideal has led to major biological changes and biological effects within young and middle-aged adults. Approximately 50% of girls and women are dissatisfied with their bodies. Men and women undergo procedures such as cosmetic surgeries in order to achieve their desired look. These procedures include breast augmentation, plastic surgery, implants, hormone intake, muscle implants, Botox, synthol injections, steroid abuse, hair plugs, skin bleaching, etc. Many of these biological changes can lead to severe biological risks such as infections, anesthesia complications, bleeding, scarring, blood clots, stunted growth, invasive and painful procedures, swelling, bruising, skin cancer, rashes, weight gain, weight loss, nerve damage, skin ruptures, death, etc. According to Monica Anderson, women are roughly 3 times as likely to undergo cosmetic surgery than men. The biological diseases associated with biological changes include anorexia nervosa, bulimia, body dysmorphia disorder, etc., which all push women and men into extreme measures to achieve society's perception of beauty. According to Markey, men and women say that girls and women should actively strive to perfect their own appearances. Beauty standards continue to affect psychological development within young and middle-aged adults. There are expectations placed on these individuals to attain the perfect look, and when they realize it's unachievable, it becomes detrimental to their psychological health. Both women and men suffer from these beliefs, not only physically but psychologically and mentally. For instance, feeling a sense of worthlessness, lack of self-confidence, stress, anxiety, depression, body shame, appearance anxiety, etc. Both women and men have resorted to extreme measures, for instance, physical modification, which leads to mental and psychological disorders. Eating disorders are notorious for being one of the most challenging psychological disorders to treat. It can be categorized as a serious mental illness. Among Western cultures, research has consistently found that prevalence rates of depression in women and girls are disproportionately higher than in men and boys.
Family is the earliest influence. Our upbringing within our family is where we gain our understanding of what it is like or means to be in this world. Social expectations begin to develop here. From our family, we learn what is good, bad, acceptable, and not acceptable about one's self. Direct comments about one's weight, body, and eating are potent resources of influence. We learn definitions such as what hair color is considered pretty and etc. Parents' body deformations or negative comments about a child's weight can have a negative effect on children and can affect the way they view their own bodies. Siblings can also play a huge role in beauty. Teasing or hurtful comments from siblings can stay with someone for a very long time. As children get older, friends have more of an influence than their family does. Friends can cause huge pressure to conform to a certain standard in order to appear attractive. Friends can also be a huge source of fat talk. Fat talk is the normalized conversations that involve degrading one's body shape. Size can increase body dissatisfaction and disordered eating behavior. The extent to which dietary restraint may moderate relationships. They also gain information about how they will manage and control their weight. This is a type of discussion where body images can be internalized and can increase body dissatisfaction. At this time, women's bodies are developing and changing, and this can raise self-consciousness about one's body. Women begin to receive messages from multiple sources such as friends, family, boys, etc., about the way their bodies are supposed to look based on what they consider beautiful. The influence of social media on the construction of the standard of beauty is controversial. On social media, we generally see fit, curvy women with no facial scarring. The image that social media portrays is usually not realistic for the human body to obtain. As young people compare themselves to these images, they can begin to create harmful circumstances for themselves. This can cause women to take extreme measures to look beautiful, which can cause death. Social media encourages thigh gaps, sexual experiences, and unhealthy fitness standards. Celebrities also have a huge impact in the standard of beauty with the photoshopping. Their bodies get photoshopped in unrealistic ways, and women who look up to them can aspire to look like that person when the look they portrayed is unachievable.
According to the research gathered by Ching Samuel, people who grew up surrounded by caregivers and parents who constantly criticize and belittle them often have a negative self-image of themselves. It becomes difficult to feel confident and comfortable in oneself later in life. Many teenagers and young adults often feel insecure about their body and start to worry that they are not popular, intelligent, beautiful, and social enough. Parental influence is one of the most social cultural factors related to the development of body dissatisfaction and disordered eating in young adults. When parents continuously make comments to their child about their weight, physical appearance, and eating habits, it causes the child to feel pressure. These interactions from the parents can lessen the child's self-worth and can have a negative influence on how the child perceives themselves. Young women compared to young men have significantly higher levels of body dissatisfaction and disordered eating. Although young women perceive more parental comments overall, data collected shows that the body dissatisfaction is linked to the negative maternal comments, which can lead to disordered eating.
According to Jane Stake, women and girls in Western society experience strong social pressures to reach a cultural ideal of thinness and perfection in appearance. Being thick used to be beautiful, but that has now shifted. Being extremely slender is now what everyone is aiming for. Being slim is being advocated in the fashion industry, television, and online. Even with a slender figure, women are still expected to have feminine traits such as wide hips, larger breasts, and small waist. According to Jefferson, because the cultural ideal is one of extreme thinness, many girls have concerns about their bodies and desire to lose weight even when their body mass index is within the normal healthy range. Body dissatisfaction is viewed as a serious concern because it has been found to be a precursor to serious psychological problems such as depression, social anxiety, poor overall self-esteem, and disordered eating. Indians are usually seen as exotic and have beauty traits that are usually not found in other races. The ideal beautiful Indian is someone with a sharp nose, full lips, hairless body, thick black hair and eyebrows, hourglass figure, and almond eyes. Indians are most known for their black, long, soft hair. Indian hair products are known to be on the top of the list for hair products. They are also known for their fairness creams. It is because of Indians' colonial past. According to Kavita Kareen, fairness products show how they connect fairness with achieving other personal goals, such as marriage, success, empowerment, job opportunities, and confidence.
North Korea is a country that has been negatively affected by the Western beauty ideals. The country has the highest rate of plastic surgery per capita in the world. In the recent study, 1/3 of women in Seoul have gone under the knife. The question now becomes, why do Korean people love getting plastic surgery? The answer is simple. They want to be more beautiful. They believe that attracting people earn more, attract quality mix, and giving a better opportunity, treatment, and admiration by others. Skin color divides the wealthy and the poor. The lighter you are, it is more evidence that you come from a wealthy family who can afford high-end skin products and who can also afford expensive procedures such as double eyelid surgery, jaw reduction surgery, and eye brightening surgery. Because of the reason mentioned earlier, the lighter you are and the amount of cosmetic procedure you had is seen as prestigious in the society. In reality, not everyone can afford plastic surgery due to lack of financial resource. Having poor body image can link with a variety of negative outcomes among young people, such as anxiety and depression, that can ultimately lead to increase in suicidal rate.
Across South America and Central America, Mexico, and the Caribbean, there is an issue of Latina women being hypersexualized in the media. Latina women in general are portrayed as sex symbols within the media, which promotes the stereotype of Latina women being sexy, loud, and spicy. The standard level of beauty for Latinas is to be beautiful, remain young, have fair skin, dark wavy hair, be busty and curvy. Many will resort to cosmetic surgeries to achieve this idea. According to Alexander Edman, Latin American countries have displaced the United States as the world's champion of cosmetic surgery. There is an ideal in Latin America that if you have the look, you can have better opportunities in your life, whether it's in the business world, the media, romantic partners, etc. Beauty standards control most of Latin America, much as they do in Western culture and globally. There is, however, a division between Latina and Afro-Latina women, the main reason being the pigment of your skin. Across Latin America, Afro-Latinas fail to receive recognition as Latinas or given opportunities because they don't fit into the Latina look stereotype. It is commonly found that the fairer your skin is in Latin America, the more chances you'll have of being on television as the leading role, whereas the darker women and men are portrayed as a maid, slaves, or poor. A study conducted by the University of Southern California between 2007 and 2013 shows that 36% of Hispanic actors are displayed in some sexualized attire, the highest of any group looked at in the study. This constant perpetuation and belief of the sexy Latina stereotype limit Latinas and Afro-Latinas from being objectified and being given real opportunities. There is a similarity across cultures that associates skin pigment with having or not having opportunities.
The European beauty standards of long, straight, flowing hair has impacted the social cultural effects of African American women for decades. Black women's physical attractiveness has been challenged and their self-esteem and identity have been attacked. Prior to the transatlantic slave trade, Black men and women took pride in their hair. Hair was looked at as a cultural and spiritual part of their everyday lives. Some of these hairstyles were twists, braids, Zulu knots, and dreadlocks. After being brought to North America, Africans were not able to wear or maintain their beautiful styles. Combs, oils, and other hair tools were not supplied by slave owners. Many slaves' heads were shaved to remove their culture, identity, and individualism. Slave women took to wearing headscarves and handkerchiefs atop their head to hide their unkempt hair. By the late 18th century through the 19th century, European scientists began to categorize their parents of blacks according to their skin tone and hair texture. Africans were deemed as unattractive, woolly, and inferior to Europeans. After slavery, black beauty was combined with white beauty standards, and black people began to groom their hair to imitate white women. After the invention of relaxers, black women began to straighten their hair and lighten their skin. This lasted well into the 1960s and 1970s, until there was a shift in the black culture. The Black and the Proud movement began, and black women began to embrace their natural hair by wearing afros. Black hair began to coincide with a political shift. Black people began to categorize themselves as real black and compare themselves with black people who continued to straighten their hair. Black people with straight hair were considered fake for attempting to hold up European beauty standards. Today, black people wear their hair in an array of hairstyles such as natural, relaxed, wigs, extensions, braids, and dreadlocks. Many African Americans still face criticism for wearing their hair natural and chemical-free. Some institutions have condemned employees from wearing natural hair and believe it is best for blacks to blend into a majority white environment. Black people lack the cultural affirmation compared to white women and are often left with few places to find positive images of beauty that doesn't showcase straight hair.
As social workers, it is our duty to advocate for our clients who may be suffering from any biological, psychological, or financial stresses. We must raise awareness not only in Western culture, but in all other cultures that have certain set beauty standards that have a negative influence on young and middle-aged adults. It's important to realize and treat this issue as a real problem in order to create change in the media, with individuals in society, etc. We must promote positive body image, meaning self-acceptance, and increase in self-confidence. As prominent social workers, we can use our NASW Code of Ethics, focusing on respecting the inherent dignity and worth of the person and behaving in a trustworthy manner. We will treat each person in a caring and respectful fashion, mindful of individual differences and cultural and ethnic diversity. Social workers can promote the client's self-worth by helping them to learn to value their outward and inner beauty. Social workers seek to enhance clients' capacity and opportunity to change and address their own needs. Social workers are continuously aware of the profession's mission, values, ethical principles, and ethical standards, and practice in a manner consistent with them. Social workers act honestly and responsibly and promote ethical practices on the part of the organizations with which they are affiliated. Social workers can provide clients with counseling, therapy, person-centered therapy, support groups, medical services, psychiatric resources, etc.
Right. Social learning theory suggests that people can learn vicariously or through watching others. We learn behaviors by modeling. We often do what others do to see what the consequences will be for the behavior. Women often learn what beauty standards are acceptable in society from their parents. If we observe people being rewarded, praised, idolized for conforming to the beauty standards that are represented in society and the media, then we are more likely to imitate that behavior to receive the same reward. People learn by watching others' success and failures. We see examples of what to wear, how to apply makeup, how we should talk, and even how we should carry ourselves from the media, magazines, newspapers, and the internet. People who do not conform to what is considered beautiful often experience rejection, depression, isolation, and anxiety. Erikson's theory focuses on the continual interaction between individuals and the social environment. People's growth and development are guided by their biological blueprint. Social forces and expectations can also influence their growth and development. These traits help them to determine how well they adapt and adjust to their environment. In middle adulthood can be an enjoyable and satisfying time in people's lives, but it can also be a time when people begin to evaluate their lives and goals. For some, it can be a time of stress due to aging, health issues, and career goals. In terms of beauty standards, many men and women begin to see wrinkles and notice aging in their physical appearance and bodies, along with thinning in their hair and signs of gray. Women begin to gain weight around their hips and their breasts begin to sag. Some people in their middle age get cosmetic procedures to recover their youthful appearance.